in my dative. So that sentence is usually in the dative. So if someone asks you wie geht's and say, oh, mir geht es gut, and you want to ask, and you, and how about you, then you'd say und dir. Und dir. Oder und ihnen. Okay? So entweder und dir oder und ihnen.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know it's just one of those confusing sentences, German and English, which you can find a relation. But if you think about it in English, if I ask you, how are you? I'm asking about your state, either your state of health or just generally how you are. And that's going to be in you. You have two objects. One is you, and one is your state. So here you is in.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Here you is in object case. Okay, in object case. Okay, but it's just one of your state is in object case. And what is your state? Okay, there's ja, und dir oder und ihnen. Ja, mir geht es gut. Es war ein I'm breaking. And oh, James Mwangi, can you hear me? Felix Rabongo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Willie Munene.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 We have topics. Alex, no. Were you with? Okay, so we had some topics on the expression tile lines. James Mwangi. Yeah. Okay. We yes. So as I was mentioning, yeah, power just came back before I logged in before 8. Yeah, so let's give the internet some time to also stabilize. Okay. Okay, from your chat, Felix Krabongo, can you hear me now?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear now. I can hear now.
Okay, yeah. I was just saying that the internet it's a bit shaky because we had a power blackout in the evening and power just came back a few minutes before I logged in. Yeah, so we can give it some few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes or so, to see if it stabilizes. If not, then I'll have to use an internet. I'll have to move to another room and use an internet cable to connect to the internet router. Okay, so we on Friday we had different topics. We had some topics, or what you can call cards, the 4 cards on different topics on Sprechen Teil 1. Okay, and I would like us to go over that today before we move on to the next thing. Okay, so James Mwangi, which ones were your cards?
Sorry, the first one. Sport, Geschichte.
Okay, you can just mention the 4. Yeah.
Sport, Geschichte. The other ones I have to read because I've been trying to practice on pronouncing.
Okay, so so you had the guess. Okay. So you had the Geschwister, then Sport, Lieblingsfach, Bücher.
Bücher, yeah.
Okay. Okay, vielen Dank. So Sport,
Geschichte.
Bücher und dann Lieblingsfach.
Yeah.
Ja, Lieblingsfach.
Richtig,
Current Tumor. Yeah, which are your topics, Karen?
That was Morgens Aufstehen, Eltern, Wohnort, and hobbies.
So you had Morgan, Morgan, Elton, Wohnort, hobbies.
Yeah.
Okay, Morgan. Okay, yeah, Elton, hobbies und was noch? Wohnort. Okay, vielen Dank. Okay, Willy Munene.
Geburtstag, Filme, Freizeit
Okay.
und Schule.
You had start, Schule,
Filme and Freizeit.
Und Freizeit.
Ja.
Okay, vielen Dank. Okay, na Grace.
Geburtstag, Filme, Freizeit und Schule.
Okay, there were 4.
Yeah.
So Geburtstag.
Filme,
Filme, Freizeit und Schule. So Geburtstag, Filme, Freizeit, Filme, Freizeit und
Schule.
Schule. Okay. Okay, na, vielen Dank. So, Karen, okay, Felix Rabongo, you are not there with us on Friday, so I don't know whether you got the recording.
Yes.
Or from the chat. So, did you pick 4 topics?
Yes.
Okay. Then. Okay. Which one?
Dein Zimmer.
Schule.
Family und Bathroom.
Okay, so Familie und
dein Zimmer, Datum, Familie und Reisen.
Okay, you can also just put it on the. Okay. Okay, so so Felix Rabonga only have 3 of your topics. I can't remember which the fourth one is.
I said I did dein Zimmer, Reisen,
Okay.
Datum, and family.
Okay. Zimmer, Familie und Datum.
And Reisen.
Okay, Rise. Okay, yeah, Reisen. Okay, so dein Zimmer, Familie, Reisen, Datum. Okay, perfect. So now what I would like us to do is each person will take 5 minutes. Okay, I know this is quite long. So Karen Tuma, I'll pair you with James Mwangi. So you ask James Mwangi the questions, and James Mwangi, you ask Karen when she's done. So try and time yourself 5 minutes for all the 4 topics. Okay, keep your questions on the 4 topics to a maximum of 5 minutes. And then Grace and Willie Munene. Okay, so Felix Rabongo, if no one joins us once the other guys are finished, then we'll do that together. We'll do that together with you, or we'll ask someone else. Okay, yeah. So Karen Tuma and James Mwangi. Karen Tuma, you start. Yeah, so you're asking James Mwangi the questions. Like if you're Morgan, you'll ask James Mwangi a question about Morgan. So the next question will be, yeah. So the next question will be asking. Yeah, it's normally just one question. So for now, let's just stick to one question.
Okay. James Gates.
Gets.
Okay. Wann stehen Sie auf? Wann stehen Sie auf? James?
Excuse
Okay,
a
James,
bit.
if you,
Excuse a
yeah. Yeah, James, mark pointer.
I concentrated on mine. So I never really learned on the others. I never really did an assignment on the others.
Is it possible that you write that on the chat?
Who, me?
No, James Mwangi, because I can hear you, Karen, quite well, but not so well, James Mwangi. So James Mwangi, just type whatever you wanted to, whatever you are saying. Yeah, you can just type it on the chat.
Okay. Number one, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, and now I can hear you well.
Okay, so I have to apologize. I really never checked on all the cards. I was checking on mine and trying to do a research on how to answer the top ones.
Okay, so here okay, that's good. So here, what happens is you have no clue of what the other candidate has. Okay. So you have no clue of the topics that the other candidate has. And so now here we are in an exam situation. Okay, it's role playing, we're in an exam situation. So you, assuming that you're in the exam and the other candidate is Karen Tumwa. Okay, so you see, you don't know what topics Karen has, and Karen does not know which topics you have. So you cannot prepare for Karen's topic beforehand, the same way Karen cannot prepare for your topics beforehand. Okay, so here's just the whole idea about Sprechen Teil 1 is especially, okay, also Sprechen is to know how do you understand the question that you are asked, and can you respond? Okay. So yeah, James Mangi, just try and respond to Karen Tumwa's question about the Morgan of
Okay. Repeat, Caroline, sorry.
Yeah, wann stehen Sie auf?
Ich wacke 6 Uhr.
Okay, so okay, so for everyone, once the other person answers a question, then just move on to the next, even without me telling you. Okay, the next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zwei Frage.
Entschuldigung.
Entschuldigung.
Das Thema ist Eltern. Ja, deine Eltern?
Meine You got cut. Sorry.
Karen, what was your question?
My question is, wohnen Sie in der Stadt oder Dorf?
Ich ich komme ich wohne im Rungai, Magadi Straße, im
Okay. Vier Frage. Die Thema ist Hobbys. Was sind deine Hobbys?
meine Hobbys sind Basketball spielen, Fußball und Reisen. Ja, das ist alles.
Okay, so James Mangi, before you ask Karen,
Yes.
so das ist meine Hobbys sind Fußball spielen, okay, Fußball spielen und Reisen.
Repeat,
Fußball
please.
spielen und meine Hobbys sind Fußball spielen. So whenever you say Fußball, you have to use the word spielen. So unless you're going to have like 2 or 3 sports like football, volleyball, tennis, then you use the word spielen at the end. So instead of saying Fußball spielen, Volleyball spielen, Tennis spielen, then you say Fußball, Volleyball, Tennis und Tennis spielen. But if you're going to use 2 verbs, that 2 nouns that require different verbs, then you have to use each noun with its own verb, and then before you mention the second. So you say Fußball spielen und reisen. Okay, Fußball spielen und reisen. Because reisen does not have anything in common with Fußball spielen. So you have to finish the Fußball spielen before you mention the word reisen. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, James. Okay, I can see Beatrice and Lucy Wawera and Dennis Low have joined us. Okay, so Felix Rabongo, I would ask you to do your topics with Lucy Wawera. I hope they're not the same. Lucy Wawera, which topics do you have?
The fourth one.
Yeah, the four of them. Which topics?
Yeah.
Please mention the topics that you have.
Let me. A minute, I settle.
Which are the 4 topics? Just mention. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Lucy. Okay, let's wait for Lucy. Dennis Low, do you have any topics?
Hello.
Yep. Yeah.
Or you said that we should compile some topics, or do research.
You already were you in class on Friday?
Friday nilikuwa lakini sikuwa na before I was just breaking.
And okay, and did you get to listen to the recording?
Basically, what happened? I listened until the end. Okay, so I was with Karen. We were to do four topics.
Yeah.
I didn't know which topics were those.
But I shared the slide on the group, so that's not an excuse, Dennis.
Okay, mine. Then Zima, Lizen, family, family, and datum.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So Daintima, okay, Ryzen,
Family,
datum.
datum.
Family.
Family.
Familie.
Familie. Familie.
Yeah, familie.
Familie.
Okay.
Datum.
Not va, fa. Yeah, the same way you'd say fat. Yeah, the same way you say fata, the same way you say familie.
Familie.
Okay, so you seem to be having the same topics. Yeah, okay, yeah, danke. So you seem to be having the same topics as Felix Rabongo. Beatrice Opina, which topics did you have?
The first 4 topics.
Yeah, just mention them.
Introduction, the Vorstelle. Then direction.
Okay, Beatrice, you're on mute.
Dative.
Okay, so the thing is, okay, were you in class on Friday?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so what you mentioned is I'd given you the slide, okay? I'd shared you the slide and like what we've just done with Karen and James Mwangi is that these were slides that you were supposed to choose, okay? Which 4 topics you want. So for example, Karen had Morgens, Aufstehen, Eltern, Wohnort, Hobbies. And then James Mwangi had Geschwister, Sport, Bücher, Lieblingsfach. So it's these topics that you're supposed to choose. And remember, we said that today we are going to start practicing Sprechenteil 1.
Okay.
Okay. and that is the reason why we watched the videos that we did on Friday, just to give you the feeling of how Sprechenteil 1 is supposed to be. So what I would like you to do is, and Felix Rabongo chose Daintima, Ryzen, Familie, Datum, which is the same as what Lucy picked. I know I'd given you the topics on Friday, but some of us were not there. So Beatrice and Dennis, please pick, okay?
Yeah.
Please pick your 4 topics. Okay, please pick your 4 topics. you can check on the slides, on WhatsApp. Just pick 4 topics. They're the last slides. And then you have to ask someone else a question on that.
Okay.
So if, for example, if you have hobbies, if you pick a topic that has hobbies, then you can say an example is was sind deine hobbies. So it's just asking a question and getting a response.
Okay.
Okay, so Dennis Low, are we together? Okay, yeah, Beatrice, we are together.
Yes, just like the cat.
Yes, you can just speak now.
Cyrus?
You can just speak. Yeah, Peter?
Just like the video, the way those ladies were talking on the cards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, these are the cards. It's just that now on the slides, it's just like one slide, but there are 4 topics. Yeah. So you just pick one slide, choose whichever slide you choose, and whichever slide you choose will have 4 topics. Okay, Dennis Low, are we together now? Okay, danke, Beatrice. Okay,
Yes,
vielen
yes.
Dank.
And excuse me, Cyrus, I have a question.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Dennis.
Yes, hello. I was asking. Which one is the team?
There's no team.
Oh, there's no team.
You can ask. There's no team. You can ask any question on anything. Okay, here there's no. We're not talking about dative or prepositions or anything. Here we are trying to do practices on expression. Okay. We are just trying to do practice on expression. So go to the WhatsApp group, check on the slide, the PowerPoint. It's among the last slides.
I've seen it.
And whichever slides, you've seen it. Yeah. Okay, please pick a slide. So each slide has slide that you're looking at has 4 different topics. It could be either so for example, slide 19. Okay, slide 19 has so this fragment to a pair zone. Okay, fragment to a pair zone. You are supposed to ask the other person a question based on that. So if you have sport, then ask the other candidate a question about sports. What is their favorite sports? Do they do sports? Do they like sports? Just ask them any question on that. There's no specific, here you really don't have like a specific question to ask. It just depends on what kind of question you want to ask. Is that okay?
Yeah, clear. Okay, so I've chosen.
Okay, so Dennis Low and Beatrice Opina, please pick your slides, and then you can just mention that in the chat. So meanwhile, James Mwangi, ask your questions to Karen Tumwa.
Okay. We get to see.
Undia.
We get this. Welche Sport magst du?
Ich finde Sport sehr langweilig.
Okay. Wie oft trainierst du?
Okay, Entschuldigung.
Wie oft trainierst du?
Ich nicht trainieren.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. You said we continue with the whole card.
Okay. So, so here in actually, if you remember the video that you watched where they were doing the video which was based on an exam from Goethe, you're just supposed to ask one question to the other candidate, and this is something that should take like around 3 minutes. Okay. And the most important thing is for you to ask simple enough questions based on A2 German language level, grammar, vocabulary, and then the candidate who has been asked the questions, you're supposed to also respond in A2 German language, grammar, and vocabulary. Okay, so then let's go to Willy Munene and Grace. Yeah, Grace. Thanks to Unbeaten.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Okay. The first one about Geburtstag. Wann ist dein Geburtstag?
Mein Geburtstag ist am 28. Dezember.
Was ist deine was ist dein Lieblingsfilm?
Mein Lieblingsfilm ist okay. Ich liebe Actionfilme und mein Lieblingsfilm ist Kommando.
Okay. Was machen Sie in Ihrer Freizeit?
Sorry?
Was machen Sie in Ihrer Freizeit?
In meiner Freizeit spiele ich gern Fußball.
Okay. Und was lernt man in der Schule?
Ich lerne Deutsch.
Danke.
Yeah, Willy Munene.
Okay. Mit wem fährst du deinen Geburtstag?
Ich fahre mit meiner Familie und Freunden.
Wann ansehen Sie Filme?
Ich sehe mehr meine Filme in der Nacht.
Wann haben Sie Freizeit?
Pardon?
Wann haben Sie Freizeit?
Okay, mein Freizeit ist von 4 bis 6 Uhr und am jeden Sonntag.
Also, wie,
Sonntag.
lange lernst du Deutsch? Wie lange lernst du Deutsch?
Wie?
Wie lange lernst du Deutsch?
2 Uhr
Okay.
jeden Tag.
Aha. Okay. Vielen Dank, Willy Munene und Grace. Ja, so. Ja, Felix, Rabung und Lucy.
Ja, Felix.
Ja.
Guten Abend.
Ja.
Guten Abend, Lucy.
Guten Abend, Felix. Ja.
Guten Abend, Lucy.
Wo wohnen Sie in deiner Familie?
Meine Familie wohnen in Migori County, in Southern Nyanza. Southern of Nyanza.
Welche Wappe ist deine Zimmer?
Meine Zimmer ist weiße. Meine Zimmer ist weiß.
Was machen Sie in deinem Urlaub?
Wiederholen bitte.
Was machen Sie in deinem Urlaub? Leise. Leise. Sorry. Was machen Sie in deiner Leise?
Oh. Ich reise nach Zanzibar Urlaub machen.
Wann ist Datum heute?
Heute.
Heute.
Ist
Heute.
Heute ist
Ja, das.
Heute ist der 5. oder
Just continue, Felix.
April.
Danke.
Ja, Felix?
Haben Sie eine große Familie oder kleine Familie?
Ich habe eine große Familie. Meine Eltern, ich habe 4 Geschwister, meine Brüder, 2 Brüder und 3 Schwestern.
Oh, das ist große Familie. Welche Datum ist Valentinstag?
Ja, bitte. Tut
Welche,
mir
da
leid.
welche Datum ist Valentinstag?
You are not, I cannot get the last ones.
Valentinstag. Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, I get you now. It is sijui kusema 14th. 14th February. 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 And
Reifen Sie mit dem Bus oder mit dem Flugzeug?
in fact, mimi sisikii vizuri.
Lucy?
Yeah,
Okay.
sijui ni echoes.
Reifen Sie
Yeah,
mit dem
yeah.
Bus
Yeah.
You see the topic is Ryzen. So Rise
Yeah.
mit dem Bus.
Ja, Reisen.
Oder so that's a question.
Dem Flugzeug.
Each what is the other one? Bus order.
Flugzeug. Flugzeug.
Each repair bus aber nie Flugzeug.
No.
In meine Schlafzimmer schlafe in Bett und Fernseher, manchmal lesen Buch und schreibe in meine Schreibtisch.
So, also du hast das Bett.
Ein Tisch und ein Bett.
Okay, yeah.
Das ist
So,
alles.
Lucy, du stellst die Frage an Felix Stabung.
Ja. I think tumemaliza.
Mimi nimemaliza maswali zangu.
Hata mimi nimemaliza. They were 4-4.
Yeah, they were 4.
Is it that me who is not completing?
Eleka, Mr. Cyrus? Mr. Cyrus? Yeah, Cyrus. Hello. Bist du da? Lucy, Lucy tunafanya nini? Mimi najipata najiongelesha walai ama nafasi yangu ni mbaya bwana. Mimi najua
Ni,
kujibu huko.
yeah,
Oh, unanisikia? Yeah, tumemaliza.
tumemaliza ine.
Oh, sawa.
Hallo Lucy und Felix. Sind wir fertig?
Hallo?
Yes,
Okay, ja, vielen Dank. Ja, hallo. Ja, ich bin schon wieder da.
ja, danke.
Okay, okay, ja, danke. Bitte. Und so, Maurice, Taka oder Tuka, auf Deutsch ja, das ist Tuka, auf Englisch, das ist Taka. So, Beatrice und Dennis Low. So Beatrice, which topics did you choose?
I've taken Morgan Hofstehen, Elton, and von Knox, and hobbies.
Okay, there are 4.
Yeah.
Okay, vielen Dank, Dennis.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I've taken the Dainsima, Ryzen, Familie, and Datum.
Okay, Familie, not family, Familie.
Familie.
Yeah, Familie. Okay, so bitte. Okay, so Beatrice, bitte stellst du die Frage an Dennis und dann, wenn du fertig bist, dann Dennis, du stellst die Frage an Beatrice. So just ask one simple question.
Okay, I can start.
And you move on to the next.
I can start.
Okay, Dennis, ladies first. So we start with Beatrice.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Dennis.
Okay,
So we start with Beatrice.
It's okay. You can start.
Okay. Beatrice.
Okay. So who?
Was ist dein Zimmernummer?
Pardon?
Was ist dein Zimmernummer?
Mein Zimmernummer ist 7.
Okay. Aha. When is the reason fewer?
Pardon?
The reason fewer.
In February.
Okay. Was ist dein Familienname?
Mein Familienname ist Opinia.
Okay. Was ist heute Datum?
Was ist heute?
Datum.
Heute Datum ist 5 April. Yeah.
Good. We're done.
Okay. Let me start.
Okay.
Wann wachst du morgen auf?
Can you repeat?
Wann wachst du morgen auf?
Wann
wachst du morgens auf?
Wann warst du morgen auf? Morgen auf. Ich bin gehe Schule.
Okay, I was asking like at what time do you wake up?
At what time?
Yes.
Ich aufstehen um 4 Uhr. Um 4 Uhr.
Okay. Lebest du bei deiner Eltern?
Can you repeat?
Lebst du bei deinem Eltern?
Now, what's the meaning of that? You.
Eltern is parents.
No, lebest.
Lebest it's for like living. Whom are you living with? Do you live with your parents?
Nein. Ich lebe mit my what is it?
Bruder?
My Ehefrau.
Okay. Then wo wohnst du?
Can you repeat?
Wo wohnst du?
Wo wohnst du? Ich wohne in Nairobi.
Okay. Then was ist dein Lieblingshobby?
Mein Fußball spielen ist mein Lieblingshobby.
Yes.
Okay, danke. Beatrice und Dennis. Hallo Morris.
Hello,
Yeah, wie geht's?
wie geht es gut?
Okay,
Und
ja, und
du?
wie war dein Wochenende? Ja, okay. Ja, mir geht es gut auch. Ja, alles klappt bei mir. Ja, ja, so kann ich sagen. Ja. Und welche Geräte so wie Photopics, Video,
I'm not getting you, sir.
yeah, Maurice, which topics did you choose? Ja, Maurice ist noch wieder bei uns. Okay, ja. Mhm.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you kind of coming through broken, that's why.
Mhm. Or if it's possible, you can just type them on the chat. Okay. If it's possible, you can just type them on the chat. Yep. Maurice, Stupa just type them, just type your topics on the chat.
Hello? Hello?
Hey, Morris. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, you getting me?
Yeah, actually, the people is asking you to type the names in the group, the topic in the group.
I should share in the group.
Yeah, just type in the chat box.
Okay. All right. Nothing knows.
Okay, Morris Chaka is
Yes.
Tushonda. So which topics have you chosen?
Okay, now I get it clear. I'm speaking on sports. Sports. Sorry, I was tapping it on WhatsApp, or Philip just tell me that I should send it on Zoom. So I can still go
Okay,
ahead, or I should
so
just
can you just say which topics? Because I can hear you now.
sports. Yeah, myself getting it clear now. I can go ahead, sports. I can go ahead with the reading. I should still share. Hello? Oh my. Let me just share because
To be there. Morris?
yes.
Okay, so to save on time, Maurice, I'll ask you a question. They're not going to be based on any of the slides. Okay. there are topics based on the slides, but they're just going to be random topics. So welche Stadt lebst du? So in welcher Stadt lebst du? In welcher Stadt lebst du?
Hello?
Yes, Aquas. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Maurice.
Yeah,
I can hear
yeah,
you.
can
So
you
you've
see?
asked a question, Max, to football or the tennis?
Yes.
Okay,
And then
I'm reading. Yeah, I've seen what you've typed on the chat.
yeah.
Max to do football or the tennis. Okay, so here, this would be your question that you'd ask the other candidate.
Yeah.
Okay, and sorry, before I go on, Felix Katabazi, willkommen bei uns. Okay, so tomorrow's Taka, is it Taka or the
Yes.
Tuka?
Toka.
Okay, the pronunciation of your second name, Taka or Tuka?
Yeah, Toka.
Yeah, Taka.
Toka.
Okay.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Toka.
Or Toka.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to get the pronunciation of that name correct because in German it should be Tuka, which I think is what I've been saying, Tuka. Yeah. So yeah, and of course, if you have to go to Germany, then that's how your name would be pronounced, Maurice Tuka. Yeah. So your question is magst du Fußball oder Tennis?
Ja.
Ganz richtig. Eine richtige Frage. So here, so that is the question that you would ask me if I was the other candidate. Okay,
Yeah,
here
but
you
then
answer the question. Ja, für Fußball, nein, aber ich mag Tennis. Für mich spiele ich Fußball und Tennis. Okay?
Yeah.
So here, for the answer, you can say ich mag nicht Fußball. Okay, ich mag nicht Fußball. Okay. And then say aber ich spiele gern Tennis. So, ich mag nicht Fußball, aber ich spiele gern Tennis. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, let me just type that so that the others can see. So ich mag nicht Fußball, aber ich spiele gern Tennis. Okay, so that would be the answer if you asked me, magst du Fußball oder Tennis? Gerade noch
Okay.
ja, ich mag nicht Fußball, aber ich spiele gern Tennis. Ja, okay. So, ja, Moment. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Felix Katabazi joined us for a few minutes and then went off. Ja, aber das geht. Ja, das ist okay. So, so thank you. Yeah, thank you all for the exercise. And yeah, so thank you all for the exercise and for participating. Yeah. However, how I would rate the Sprechentile 1 from all of us. Maurice Tucker, could you please mute yourself? I'm not able to do it from here. Okay, vielen Dank. Yeah, so how I would rate this exercise is 1 out of 5. Okay. Yeah, that's how I would rate it. And this being based on the fact that we had a whole weekend to prepare questions just based on 4 topics. Okay. So some of us are not ready, and some simple grammatical mistakes, grammatical errors, which at the basics of A1, and yeah, so I would say that, of course, this was a trial. So next time, let's, for all the exercises that you're going to do based on the exam, okay? So assuming that this was an exam question, none of us would have passed. Yeah, leider nicht. Okay. None of us would have gotten the 5 marks on the Sprechentile 1. Yeah, and yeah, so, but don't worry, it's also something good to know from my side, so that I know what to work on, to know where each and every one of us is. Yeah, so all the grammar that you're learning, or all the grammar that you've learned, you're basically supposed to apply it on the expression. Okay, you're supposed to apply it on the expression. So remember your scheinbare Verben, the separable verbs. This you learned in A1. So when you come to ask questions, so even though the person who has asked you the question has used the scheinbare verb correctly, but you as a person who is responding also needs to use the scheinbare verb correctly. Okay, so the scheinbare verb, you conjugate the verb, and then the preposition comes at the end of the sentence. It doesn't matter how long your sentence is, but your preposition will come at the end of the sentence. And then you'd say ishawe gyan commando filme an. Okay, so usually here it's watching TV or watching a movie, use the word anschauen. Okay, so ishawe an. Ishawe eine Aktionfilm an. Okay, so that's basically what that's the verb that you use with watching something on TV or a video. Anschauen. Anschauen. Let me just try and share my screen. And then, okay, later kann ich mein Screen nicht mit euch sharen, oder ja. So, so it's just this simple words, simple basic words, okay? And then you'd say heute ist den. Heute ist den. D-E-N. Das ist immer im Akkusativ. If you want to say today's date, das ist immer im Akkusativ. Immer. Okay? So here, immer is highlighted, it's bold, it's underlined. Das ist immer. So you say heute ist den, and then your date will be, you'll mention the numbers in the accusative. Und so zum Beispiel heute ist den 4. Okay, 4. April 2020. Okay, heute ist den 4. 4, not 4, not 4. Not 4 April 2020. Okay, normally the dates you would not say as a number. You can still say, yeah, you normally say the years the same way you do in English, like 2022. So 2022. So heute ist den 4. Okay, heute ist den 4. That's accusative. So the 4 here, so what you have to realize with the German language is that the numbers, okay, the numbers do change. They can either be an adjective or an adverb. Okay, they can either be an adjective or an adverb. So then they take either the accusative case. Okay, most of the time they take the accusative case. It's the accusative case because they're saying heute ist den. Today is. So you're basically, if you think about it, just think about it that you're trying to point at the date. Okay, so that's why we're saying heute ist den. I know it's this is an exception of when you use the word ist. I know last time you said the word, whenever you see the word ist, your sentence is in the nominative. Yeah, but this is one of those exceptions. So you'd say heute ist den 4. April 2022. Okay, so it will be ersten, heute ist den 1. Sometimes you don't have to, there are times when you don't have to use the word den. So you say heute ist ersten April oder heute ist 2. April. Heute ist 3. April. Yeah, but it's always good to know or to mention the word den. Heute ist den 1. April. So that at least you also remember that, yeah, my eins changes to erst. And since I've mentioned the dative, since I mentioned the accusative, then it to take the accusative ending ersten. And if you say heute ist den 2. April. Okay. Oder heute ist den 3. 3 here is written with a D. So 3 becomes 3. So it starts with a D. Let me just write that. So so you have ersten, zweiten, 3. Yeah, the other numbers don't change. And how they're normally written is if you see the date written as 0 or das, how you pronounce those words. So if you see like 1 with a dot, with a full stop, following it, you say ersten. Okay, ersten. If you see a 2 with a full stop at with a full stop following the 2, then you say zweiten. Yeah, Felix?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something. When do we like, for example, like when you're talking about the date, we use the adjective ending of and SM as like for example, given as like SM, written, written. And at what point should we say essay, writer, theater, poster? At what point?
Okay.
Or when do we?
So, yeah, gute Frage. So, you'd say zweite, erste, zweite, dritte. So, for example, I would say, ich bin der zweite Geborene. Oder, so here, okay, let me just go back to the, let me just explain this. Okay, so here, numbers are also adjectives. You can use them as adjectives. So the letter take the erste, erstes, erster. Okay. So for example, I would say ich bin die oder ich bin das erstes geborenes Kind in meiner Familie. So, ich bin das erstes geborenes Kind in meiner Familie. Ich bin das erstes, I've used das because I'm going to use the word Kind. So ich bin das erstes geborenes Kind in, and in here is the dative, meiner Familie. Yeah, so that's how you'd use that. I know that in English or in any of the other languages that we know, numbers don't change. Okay, but in German, the German language, the word endings are so quite important, and the word basically forms your grammar. Okay, so you need to understand your grammar and then apply it in your spoken. So you have eins, which is number one. You can say erste, okay? You can say ersten, but you can also say erstem. So here the numbers really are basically adjectives. And if it's a sentence where they need to be adverbs, they'll take the ending as of the adverb. But with the dates, so for example, but for the dates, that's immer accusative, and I think that was Karen. So when you're going through your points, you say die zweite, okay? So die zweite Thema, or you can say das zweites Thema, because Thema is das. So you say das erste Thema, sorry. Okay, so das erste Thema, die zweite Thema, die dritte Thema, die vierte Thema. So here the numbers are also adjectives. So the eins is number one, okay, one. But now when you want to use it in a different format, like you want to say the first one, then it's in the adjective, okay? You're basically describing a noun, okay? So the car, which is number one, so the first car, or the second car. So this car, it's a car, that's a noun that you're describing. But what do you want to tell us more about the car? It's in position 2. So you want to say the red car is in position 2. In the German language, as you mentioned on Friday or last week, the German language puts the adjective before the noun, which is unlike like many other languages. So that's why the adjective endungen or the adjective Deklination is so ganz sehr wichtig. Okay, ganz sehr wichtig. In der deutschen Sprache. So that's because that's how the German language is. So they prefer 90% of the time they prefer to place the adjective before the verb, before the noun, sorry. Unlike English or any other languages where the adjective usually comes after the noun. And even if it comes before the noun, you don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to add an ending to it. So it's up to you whether you want to place it before or after. But in the German language, the adjective is normally before the noun. And that's why you need to give it an ending. And in this case, the numbers can also act as adjectives. So if you want to say the first car or the red car is number 2 or is in position 2, here you'd say car is auto, article is das. So das, rote, auto, or you can say das rote zweite Auto. Okay, das rote zweite Auto. So if you tell me, or if you tell a native German speaker, yeah, das rote zweite Auto, yeah, they barely know what you mean. It's in position 2. It's in the second position. Yeah, Felix.
Yeah. So, like you said, like the number sometimes have they act as subjective. So, so meaning we have to when we are talking when we are saying, for example, like maybe the fifth child, like is it okay to put like the article, definite article by saying that's that's 215.
Yeah, das ist richtig. And then also the question that Dennis Lowers asked, erstem. So when you use the word erstem, that's when your sentence is the dative case. And erst is an adjective. So for example, if you have the null article, you're not using an article with your noun. So you'd say erstem Auto. Auto is das, and in the dative case, remember das is dem or einem. So here erst will also take the ending am. So schnellem, or not use that. I would say, yeah, so schnellem ersten Auto. Okay. Yeah, the sentence really doesn't make sense, but yeah.
So excuse me, I have a question. You said that previously when you taught us, you said that in the case of productive, the adjective always ends in en, not em. So why is it in this case today you're telling us that we add em in the dative case?
Okay, I know that's what I said. Okay, when we're learning and that's true. However, when I said that, okay, so what I need to clear first, okay, is that the adjective ending, remember the adjective ending in, if you look at the slides, one of the slides that you have, there are things that you need to look out for before you make your adjective ending in. So the first thing is the gender of the noun. So first of all, you must have a noun. And the second thing, your adjective has to come before the noun. Then the third thing is, what is the gender of the noun that you have? And then the other thing that you have to look out for is that the two things which are important are you going to use an article? So if it's unbestimmten article, that is indefinite article, which in English is are, okay, then the dative will take an. If you're going to use the bestimmten article, the dative will take an. But if you're going to use no article, okay, you're not going to use any article. So you're just going to say fast car, okay? So fast car. Then that also changes. That also changes the ending of your adjective. And so that is the reason why you'd have airsten, airstes, airstem. So it just depends on whether you've used an article with your noun, and if you used an article, which article? Is it the bestimmten article, which is there of English, or the unbestimmten article, which is a of English, or the null article? So here, null article just means there's no article. You just use your noun without any article. Okay.
Also, like let's say, like when you use in the same sentence, you have written I name, so that will affect your adjective. It will be with the M at the end, em.
It will be with en, because you use ein name. You use ein. That's an indefinite article. So eine means it's in the dative case, which can either be der or the das. So your adjective ending end will be an. So einem neuen Gebäude. It's because you have used einem. Okay, you have used ein.
Okay. So the point is that when you use an article, it must end with en. So without an article, it ends with em.
It ends with the ending of the dative case.
Okay. Also, that's when there's no article.
Yeah. For the adjective declination, this is something that you just have to study on your own. Okay, I can. You know the Pareto principle, the 20-80. So I'll only give you the 20% input, but the 80% input on learning this has to come from you. Yeah, leider muss ich das sagen. Yeah, es ist wie es ist. Yeah, so you also have to put in as much input into learning the language. Okay. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the learning doesn't end like at 10 or at 10:30. The learning continues. Okay. After the lesson, I have to prepare for tomorrow's lesson, which can take me between 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay. But also for you, the learning is continuous. So it's not that when the lesson ends, then you switch off your phone. You log out of Zoom, either from your phone or from your laptop, or from your machine, or whichever device you logged on Zoom. Used for logging into Zoom. It's if you want to make that extra step, okay, then your learning just has to be continuous. You have to, that's what I was telling you, you have to listen to music on YouTube, you have to read books. At least listening to music on YouTube, German music on YouTube. YouTube is free. Getting books and articles here and there could be a bit tricky. But yeah, just listen to any music in German, and of course, you may not understand some of them because they're used on sometimes they use the Umgangssprache, but the most important thing which the Umgangssprache doesn't get away from, they never get away from the verb coming in the second slot. Okay, they never get away from some of these basic grammar principles. They may use certain words which you may not understand, but they never get away from the basic German language principles. So you also have to make that extra effort. If you have an assignment like what you had today, this is something that I'd hoped that would take us 30 minutes. So what I'll do is, or what we do is, the same topics you have that we had today. Yeah, Karen, I see your hand. Let me just finish. So the same topics that we had today, we'll do the same thing tomorrow morning. Not tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening. So be prepared, okay? Be prepared. We log in 10 minutes to 8. We catch up on how our day was. The Vigates, Viva the Tag. And still we are not talking more about how our day was. We're just saying my tag were good. Okay, this is something that I've had for the last, I don't know how many days. What I need you to do is use more words to describe how your day was. And then at 8, we will start with the topics that we had today. So James Mwangi, you still do that with Karen Tumwa. Willie Munene, you still do that with Grace. Felix Rabongo, you still do that with Lucy. Beatrice, you still do that with Dennis. Okay, so the time limit is 5 minutes. So within 5 minutes, you should have asked your questions. So 5 minutes per person. So 5 minutes, you should have asked all your 4 questions. And then the second person asks the other questions. Is that clear? Is that clear enough?
Clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Maurice, I'm coming to your question. Let me. Karen, you had your hand up.
Actually, I hadn't raised my hand.
Okay, you hadn't raised your, okay, because on my screen it was showing that hand was raised up. And then for Karen, is it possible that, because usually whenever you start talking, it seems like you're far away from your microphone, but then after like maybe 10 seconds or 5 seconds, then you are clear enough. So please, Dennis, I see that hand coming back to you. So yeah, make sure that whenever you are the next person to speak, just unmute yourself and be next to your mic. Okay, Maurice, still coming to a question. Let me finish with Dennis. Okay, Dennis.
Yes, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Uh-huh.
When dealing with adverbs, when dealing with adverbs, we are told that we put the verb, not adverb, the verb at the second place, and when there are two, we put one at the end, and the other one at the second place. Now, what about adverbs?
So, okay, is it adverbs or adjectives? Which one? Because the thing is, okay, when you have a verb, okay? And I think I mentioned this. So it's not the second word in the sentence, okay? It's never the second word in the sentence. They're what you call slot, okay? It's what you call a slot. So is the first slot talking about the subject, and then after that I need to put a verb, and then after that there's another slot, and then after the second slot I have a third slot, okay? So it's, think about the sentence in terms of slots, because for example, if you say to say der alte Mann, okay, der alte Mann kommt heute oder kommt nicht heute. Okay, der alte Mann kommt nicht heute. So here my second word is alte, but alte here is an adjective. So here the first slot is der alte Mann. Okay, I'm talking about the old man. So the first three words are all talking about the old man, or rather the man. So der alte Mann. So that is just a slot. And then what comes after that slot, it's your verb. So what's happening with the old man? Yeah. So then that's where you need to put your verb. And then what is supposed to be in the next slot? He's not coming today. Yeah. Or you can still switch that sentence around and say heute, which is a first slot, and then your verb. So what's happening today? You need an action word, which is a verb. So kommt, and what's with the word kommt? Yeah, then you have the next slot. So heute kommt nicht der alte Mann. Yeah, so tomorrow after we do the exercise again, okay? So when you do the exercise tomorrow again, so please go do your research, your whatever, it's just one simple sentence based on A2 grammar. Make it as clear as possible. And also, whoever is asked a question, please respond to that. Please respond to the question that you asked with the correct pronunciation. Okay, that's what I'm always checking on. Correct pronunciation. Your grammar. So I'm checking on your grammar, your pronunciation. Yeah. And then once we are done with that, I'll try and get us to watch a video that's talking about the sentence structure. What I'm talking about, slots. Okay, so I'll try and get us a video which we can hopefully watch, so that we understand this concept of which slot, and yeah, the verb is supposed to be the second position, but yeah, second position just basically means after the first slot. So I look for that video, so that it's what we can watch afterwards, after we are done with the Sprechen Teil 1, okay, with this exercise. And for this exercise, we'll be doing it daily. Okay. So if you like the exercise, yeah, well and good. If you don't like it, yeah, you're stuck with us. Okay, you're stuck with us. Yeah, because here it's basically where you apply your grammar. Okay, this is basically where you apply your grammar, and we need to learn to speak. Okay, we need to learn to speak confidently. Okay, need to learn to speak the German language confidently. You know, if you're going to meet, if you go to Germany and you're on the streets, you're not going to explain to someone grammar. Okay, you're not going to explain to them the Hofverständnis. You're not going to write for them something on a paper and ask them to read. You have to speak. Okay, you have to speak. And basically the spoken comes from your grammar. Okay, the spoken comes from your grammar. Of course, when you reach a train station or a bus station, you have to learn how to read the Anzeige or the advertisements or whatever, which is also quite important. But you can read that and not understand and still ask someone else. So the most important thing for us to develop is the spoken. And this is what we are going to concentrate on. Okay. As I mentioned, the grammar that you can cover that in 2 weeks. Okay, we can cover that in 2 weeks, and we're done with the grammar. And I'd say, okay, see you after, like, I don't know, 6 weeks. But for me, the most important thing is that you get to speak. Okay, you get to start thinking in the German language. Get to start thinking German language. Your pronunciation has to be correct. Das ist ganz wichtig. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. Okay, and of course there'll be mistakes here and there, but that is expected. Okay, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about your sentence being correct or not, has mistakes or not. Just say it. Okay, just German. Just speak the German language. Okay, like you say, kaende. So let's just speak, because this is the only thing. This is the only way that we can learn. It's the only way I can know that. Yeah, James Mwangi is here is basically where James Mwangi is struggling with the grammar, or here is where Felix Rabongo is struggling with the grammar, or here is where Karen Tumwa is struggling with the grammar or pronunciation, or here is where Denise is struggling, so that we need to focus more on this. Yeah, so here it's basically much more of the spoken that you want to try and concentrate on. Yeah, because after A2, the next level is B1, and B1's expectations are much higher. And even if it's not B1, then if you have a chance to go to Germany, then you have to communicate. You have to ask when the next train is. You have to ask for directions if you are lost. Remember, we learned about the directions. Wie komme ich zum Hotel? Oder wie komme ich zur Friedrichstraße? Welcher Zug muss ich nehmen? Wo muss ich umsteigen? So umsteigen is just to move from one train, alight from one train, and then get onto another train. That's umsteigen. But if you're not planning to get onto another train, then that is aussteigen. And just get to know how to use these words: umsteigen, einsteigen, aussteigen. Or if someone is giving you directions, they may end up using the 3 words. And if you don't know, if you can't understand this, then you're kind of completely lost. Okay. You have to understand the linken Seite, rechten Seite, oben, hinter, yeah. So these are, yeah, Felix.
In Germany, do people speak broken German? Like here in Kenya, some of us we learn Swahili or English, but we still find ourselves speaking. Like for example, me, I don't learn Swahili. I just find myself speaking broken Swahili, even though I learned the Swahili language in school. So does it apply also in German? Does it also apply in Germany where there are some people doesn't speak fluent German, they just speak the German, which is like
yeah. So so we okay. I would not say broken. I would call it Umgangssprache, like the street language. But they understand the standard Deutsch, or what you call Hochdeutsch. Okay, there's a Hochdeutsch or the standard Deutsch. So that's basically like the English or the Kiswahili that we learned in school here. Because also in Germany, German is taught in school. Okay. But what is taught in school, so is a standard or a Hochdeutsch. So think back of when you're in school, you'd learn Kiswahili in class. I can't remember the names. Msamiati, and then when you go for break, break time, you'd speak the street language, if I may call it so. You not speak the Msamiati that you learned in class, but you'd speak the everyday language, everyday Kiswahili language. But then even if you have another Kiswahili class after the break time, you still go learn the Msamiati, which is a standard Kiswahili. So it's the same thing. So in Germany, the native Germans, the native German speakers, German language speakers, understand the standard Deutsch or the Hochdeutsch, and but in the everyday life, they speak what you call the Umgangssprache. They may even add English words and Germanize these English words, like email check-in, like to check email check-in. So, but they will not use the standard German industries. But of course, since you don't know what, if you're going to talk to someone on the streets, or if you're going to ask for directions or something like, or if you go to a supermarket, or if you go to to a shop to buy something, then you also actually have no idea what kind of German language they understand. Okay, they normally speak. So it's just best that you speak the standard Deutsch until you are familiar with the language of that area of where you live. I mean, for example, you can think about this with the Sheng language. You know, the Sheng that's spoken in, I don't know which part of Nairobi is totally different from the other part of Nairobi. So if you move from one part of Nairobi to another part of Nairobi, then people don't understand you. Okay. So until you've lived in that area and then you know how they talk about things, they use certain words, and sometimes certain words that meant something good where you used to live before you move to another area. Then in another area it means something totally, it means the opposite. So for this Umgangssprache, alltägliche Sprache, it's best, okay, of course it's best to learn, but for this, you just get to learn them when you're on the ground, when you're already there, so that you also know how people communicate, which words they normally use quite often. Like either go get food, let's go get food, let's go for lunch, let's do this, go here, tomorrow, do you have time? Okay, so the common language that the people in a certain area use, this takes time, but as long as you speak the standard German, okay, then everyone will understand you. Sometimes they may find that, of course, if in an informal setting, like let me say, if you're going to a party, or it's just an informal setting, and then you're using the standard German, someone will tell you that, here we normally say, instead of saying this, this is how we would say this phrase. This is a phrase that you'd say. And Beispiel, instead of saying, ich bin satt, I'm full, you can say, ich bin satt. Okay. Yeah, so that's an example of what someone would say. In certain areas of Germany, they'll use a totally different word, and they're also dialects. But even the dialects, these they would still understand the standard German. So that's basically why it's called standard, because now the standard, nearly 90 to 95% of the population understands the standard German, because this is what they've learned in school. This is what is taught in school. Of course, the other smaller percentage are the older generation, who really don't understand much of the current language, because what they understand is their local dialect. They've never moved much from the villages or towns or smaller towns where they live. So they only understand, they can only speak dialect, the local dialect, which is something similar to us here. So Mzee, who has lived in the village all their life, if you go speak to them in proper Kiswahili, or even in your proper mother tongue, they will not understand you. Okay. Yeah. So these are just some of the little things that you just need to watch out for. So what we are learning is basically the standard German, which can help you to communicate with 90% of the German speaking people. Yeah. So of course, there are also when you get to Germany, then in the north, they have a different way of speaking the language. When you get to the south, they have a different way of speaking the language. When you get to the northwest, they have a different way of speaking the language. And that's why we have this standard Deutsch or the Hochdeutsch. Okay, so we have the Hochdeutsch. So I think the people living in northern Germany feel like, yeah, we are the ones who are speaking the Hochdeutsch. So you people in the southern, you have dialects. Yeah, we are not. You can't get to our level of speaking German. And of course, they also have this with the dialects. Then also comes pronouncing of certain words differently. The same way we would have here, instead of saying something with the, like instead of saying she, you say she. Instead of saying like Cyrus, you say Silas. Yeah, all these are basically commodalities, languages. Okay. Our first influence, our mother tongue really influences our language quite a lot. And it's something that you can never get away from unless you go to a language training school, so that you are taught how to pronounce words correctly. But otherwise, even then, it will still take quite a lot of time. So the mother tongue influence is quite huge. But also what to expect. But the most important thing is to concentrate on learning the standard German. Das ist die Hauptsache hier. Yeah, Felix Rapongo. I know I've basically covered like 20% of the German culture in I don't know, in 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I've understood.
And then also something to realize is that, yeah, in Germany, it's a multicultural country. So whoever you may be meeting may be from Mexico, but they still speak German, or whoever you're meeting is from Turkey. Your taxi driver could be from Turkey, could be from I don't know, whichever country, but they're still speaking German. And of course, you can get this from their accent. You go to a restaurant, your waiter or your chef is a Mexican. Of course, you can get this from their accent, but what they've learned is a standard German. Okay, spoken is a standard German, which makes it easier for you to communicate with everyone from all over the world. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Maurice?
Yeah, I didn't hear you responding to my question. The reason I asked
yeah,
is because adjective we know is used to describe.
Okay, so
that's why I wanted to know whether it is correct or not.
Okay,
the
so
sentence that's
okay, so das rote Auto is wunderschön. Okay, yeah, that's correct. It's just that the wunderschön has an umlaut on the schön. So das rote Auto is wunderschön. Okay. Ja, Prost. Gut gemacht. Das rote Auto Felix gekauft ist wunderschön. Okay, here das rote Auto is correct. Okay. So the first one, I would say the first one is the most correct grammatically. The second one, das rote Auto, Felix gekauft. So here you're missing a verb. So das rote Auto, das Felix gekauft hat. Okay, so das rote Auto, das Felix gekauft hat, ist wunderschön. So that's how I would put the second sentence.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, Peter. Yeah, okay. So I need to scan and send some things on the group. Yeah, which may take a bit of time. So maybe like around 20 minutes. So tomorrow, please let's prepare. Okay, let's go prepare again for the topics. That is what we'll be doing the first few minutes, and we try and log in like 10 minutes to 8. Yeah, something else that on time. The one thing that is known with the Germans, or when you're in Germany, is that you have to keep time. So if it's 8, if you say our lesson is starting at 8, 8 is not when we are catching up. 8 at 8, that's we are getting into the lesson. And if you've ever been to Germany, or when you go to Germany, then you'll notice that the timings are a little bit strange, especially for the transport system. It's like 8:02, 8:32. Yeah. So which means it's not 8:30, because psychologically 8:30 can either mean like 8:30, 8:35. 8:35 is still 8:30. 8:30 is not defined, but 8:32 is defined. Okay, it's leaving at 8:32, or it's leaving at, the train is passing by the or the bus is passing by stopping at the bus station at 8:02 and not at 8, which would be quite of a challenge for us from this other side of the world. 8:50 is still 8. Yeah, 8:50 is still 8. Yeah, so let's try keep time. Okay, so tomorrow, if you can log in before 8, yeah, we do all our catch up, and then at 8:02 we start our lesson. We start with the Sprechentile 1, what we did today. But tomorrow, be prepared. Okay, you have like a whole day to prepare for that, and then after that we can go over the grammar that we are supposed to have learned today. Yeah, that's basically the temporale Präpositionen und Konjunktiv 2. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically what we'll do tomorrow. We'll cover tomorrow evening. Okay. Anyone has any question? Okay, dann es ist schon 10:30 Uhr. Ja, die Zeit kann schon vorbei. Ja, wir treffen uns, ja, ich kann sagen, dass wir uns treffen morgen um 7:50 Uhr. Ja, 7:50 Uhr. And then also within these 10 minutes, then we can also know who is hearing who can't hear who can't hear who. Ja. Okay. Ja, na dann, bis dann. Tschüss und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Nacht.
Gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht.
Okay, gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht.
Nacht.
Gute
Gute Nacht.
Nacht.